You are listening to Uranium Spotlight on Tuesday, January 14, 2025. Brought to you by Purepoint Uranium Group, your exploration partner in the most prolific areas of Canada's Athabasca Basin. With a collaborative investment model on district-scale projects and validation from industry leaders Cameco, Orano, and ISO Energy, Purepoint is investing in Canada's uranium future. And now your host, Chris Frostad.
This week on Uranium Spotlight, China's questionable claims of a new discovery, Brazil's boost to critical minerals, the NRC's new sense of urgency, and Forum Energy provides an update on a potential new uranium zone. The spot uranium price closed last week at $73.50 a pound, down $1.50 from the previous week's close of $75. After starting the year with momentum fueled by December's year-end buying and temporary production suspensions at Kazatomprom's Inkai mine, the first full trading week of 2025 brought quieter market activity. Tuesday saw 5 spot transactions, 2 within the prompt delivery window. However, weak demand drove the price down $2.75 to $72.25 a pound. A late trade at $71.50 further reflected soft buyer interest. By midweek, limited bids began to resurface and prices inched back upward. On Wednesday, the spot price nudged up 20 cents to $72.45 as both bids and offers firmed. Sellers, however, held back on Thursday and no deals materialized. Friday brought firmer bids across the board, including for prompt delivery. A single confirmed trade of 50,000 pounds for April delivery pushed the spot price indicator up $1.05 to $73.50, with delivery locations partially restored. While the spot market remained relatively quiet, limited off-market demand persisted, including a small spot-enriched uranium product request. Term market activity was subdued, with a U.S. utility awarding contracts for future deliveries starting in 2029. Market watchers expect utilities to gradually re-enter the term market in the coming months, driven by renewed interest in securing future fuel needs. Overall, despite some midweek recovery, last week's activity left the uranium spot price down for the week, reflecting a cautious but steady market tone. China recently announced the discovery of an ultra-large uranium deposit in the Ordos Basin, located in western and central China. However, the details surrounding this discovery remain vague. Despite the claim of a massive find, no specific figures or estimates have been provided about the deposit's size in pounds. This lack of transparency is striking, especially when compared to recent Chinese announcements about lithium discoveries, which included precise data on reserves and valuations. Adding to the uncertainty, numerous articles, primarily from Chinese state media, echo the same language about the discovery but fail to provide new insights. Some reference the China Geological Survey as the source, yet the organization's website has not yet updated with relevant news since 2019. Attempts to trace the announcement to the Geological Survey only deepen the mystery. One name that surfaces is Jin Rushi, reportedly the head of the China Geological Survey's uranium department. Jin has authored past studies on uranium in the Ordos Basin, including a recent December 2024 paper listed on ResearchGate. However, the paper lacks an abstract and has not been publicly available. It's possible that state media is referencing information from this paper, but why not disclose the data outright if the discovery is as significant as claimed? China's history of inflated uranium reserve estimates also raises eyebrows. While the World Nuclear Association notes that China previously claimed 4.4 billion pounds of uranium reserves, the last verifiable studies suggest closer to 500 million pounds, 9 times less. It's feasible that Jin Roshi's team has identified uranium in the Ordos Basin, given past discoveries in similar sandstone formations, but the scale of this particular deposit remains in question. China's motivations for these claims are worth examining. The country aims to secure uranium from 3 sources: domestic production, international mines that it owns, and open market purchases. With its planned expansion of nuclear reactors, 500 million pounds of uranium would last about 150 years, if only a third of its fleet relies on domestic supply. In contrast, the claimed 4.4 billion pounds would last 1,500 years, well beyond the lifespan of the reactors themselves. This narrative of abundant reserves could serve strategic purposes, such as projecting energy independence and resource dominance. Another angle to consider is China's recent export of uranium to the United States, a very new development. Some in the Biden administration suspect this uranium may originate from Russia, sidestepping U.S. sanctions. In response, the U.S. has imposed tariffs on Chinese uranium imports. However, if China convinces global markets, and particularly the U.S., of its substantial uranium reserves, it could pressure tariff reversals, especially if rising uranium prices from market bifurcation and geopolitical tensions begin to impact U.S. power costs. In summary, while China's claim of a massive uranium find is intriguing, the lack of data and historical context of inflated reserve numbers suggests caution. Investors should monitor developments closely, particularly as they relate to China's strategic goals in the global uranium market. Brazil, home to the world's sixth largest uranium reserves, has announced an $820 million financing program aimed at its critical minerals sector, which includes uranium. The program, led by Brazil's Development Bank and state financing agency FINEP, is designed to address financing challenges faced by companies in this sector. Many local firms have struggled to secure funding through traditional capital markets due to the high risks associated with mining projects. The initiative will provide financial support through lines of credit, equity participation, and investments in productive capacity. While Brazil currently operates 2 nuclear reactors and has 1 active uranium mine, its uranium production remains limited. A second project is under development, set to produce uranium as a byproduct of phosphate mining. Although this funding program is unlikely to position Brazil as a global uranium powerhouse, it could provide significant support to a handful of uranium-focused companies that have faced financing hurdles. This move could strengthen the country's critical minerals sector overall, while offering a much-needed boost to uranium exploration and production initiatives. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, or NRC, has announced plans to streamline its application and design review processes for new nuclear reactors. This marks a significant shift for an agency historically known for its methodical, cautious approach to new proposals. For context, the approval process for Vogtle Units 3 and 4, a key nuclear development in the U.S., took approximately 4 years. Now the NRC is aiming to cut that timeline to under a year, signaling a push to accelerate the deployment of advanced nuclear technologies. This initiative aligns with growing momentum towards an American nuclear renaissance, driven by the need for cleaner energy and greater energy security. Investors in uranium equities should keep a close eye on this development, as faster approvals could lead to increased demand for uranium, benefiting producers and explorers alike. If successful, the policy shift could be a game changer for the nuclear energy industry, setting the stage for a faster rollout of new reactors and, in turn, potentially driving long-term growth in the uranium market. Forum Energy Metals Corp. has released an update on its Tatiggaq uranium project in Nunavut's Thelon Basin, a region known for its high potential. The latest assays from 8 drill holes at the Tatiggaq anomaly hint a significant new zone 300 meters north of the existing Tatiggaq deposit. One highlight is drill zone TAT24-21, which intersected 0.79% U308 over 0.1 meters at a depth of 221 meters. This result is particularly encouraging as it suggests proximity to a mineralized zone. Accompanying geochemical indicators, including elevated boron and other key pathfinder elements, further validate the area's prospectivity. Forum CEO Rick Mazer emphasized the project's strategic importance, calling it the most advanced exploration property in the Thelon Basin, adjacent to an economically viable uranium deposit. The 2024 drill program successfully expanded existing discoveries at Tatiggaq and Tatiggaq and ventured into promising new targets, showcasing the area's blue sky potential for a future uranium mining district. Dr. Rebecca Hunter, VP of Exploration, highlighted the importance of these step-out holes in uncovering untapped zones. She noted that much of the anomaly remains untested, with future drilling targeted fertile structures in the northeast, including the Tatiggaq and D faults. The Aberdeen project spans 950 square kilometers and includes the Tatiggaq and Tatiggaq discoveries made by the previous operator, Cameco. Forum's efforts, including resampling historical data and drilling over 6,900 meters in 2024, have positioned the project for resource development and exploration success. And that wraps up your Uranium Spotlight coverage for this week. For more news and events from the world of uranium, please tune in next week to Uranium Spotlight.
You've been listening to Uranium Spotlight, your weekly podcast dedicated to delivering the latest news and events shaping the uranium fuel market and its critical role in the global energy landscape. Brought to you by Purepoint Uranium Group. Purepoint actively operates a portfolio of advanced uranium projects in the world's richest uranium district and has established partnerships with industry leaders. While our passion for this subject is undeniable, it's essential to clarify that the information presented here is not investment advice. Instead, our goal is to offer an unbiased and comprehensive review of recent events that could impact uranium prices. Join us again next Tuesday for Uranium Spotlight.